Hey everyone, welcome back to Armies on Parade. Today we're doing a range review of the Dark Angels, sub-faction for the Space Marines legions. Dark Angels are a secretive, monastic legion of Marines that pay lip service to Codex Astartes, non-Codex compliant. They have a fortress world. It's an old, destroyed chunk of Caliban, which was their original home world. There's a whole lore about how, following the Horus Heresy, Luther, who was right-hand man to the Primarch, Lionel Johnson, betrayed his legion and joined Chaos. It's recently been resolved in the lore, and so the Fallen are kind of no more because the Lion forgave them. It's a little bit derpy.
What was the guy's name?
Luther.
I thought you said Lucifer for a second.
No.
They're not that obvious, right?
Matt, these guys are the Space Marine Legion that are like, these are the King Arthur people. So like Luther
Aren't they like
Pendragon.
half King Arthur, but also half they listen to Simple Plan because of their dark secret?
That might be the best, very short description of Dark Angels that I've ever heard, and most apt. But like literally, I think in the book, when the lion comes back, he gets his sweet ass sword, and we'll see his model here in a bit. He gets his sweet ass sword because he's like in the warp, and it's like a giant wardrobe, and it opens up, and he goes through, and there's a sword that he's given by like the Lady of the Lake. It's super on the nose.
That's awesome.
It is unironically really cool, and like very ironically cool, I should say, because it's just super whatever. But during that book, he sort of meets the Fallen and forgives a lot of them and stuff. So I feel like GW is moving away from the Fallen as a main motivation for Dark Angels, which is a good thing because it's sort of, I don't know,
Gets old.
Gets old, yeah. And where do they go from here in the story if their primary goal is to reclaim their chapter? So this is from the Horus Heresy era. So they had all these different wings. The only surviving wings are the Raven Wing and Death Wing. They have specific functions within detachments within the Dark Angels. So like the Death Wing are the first company of elite veterans. They've got these sick Terminator Knights, sick Blade Guard, and Terminators, and they have an awesome, unique paint scheme. The Raven Wing are fast attack, speeders, bikers. They have guys called Knights, Black Knights, that ride around on bikes, and they're very cool. These wings, like I said, have all been disbanded since the Horus Heresy for one reason or another. They don't have their own individual paint schemes. They're not really reflected in the current codex. Let's talk about what is reflected in the current codex, Marcus.
As far as what that supplement gives, other than units, it's not really much. The Unforgiven, it's a leadership-based attachment where you gotta fail leadership tests to get benefits.
That sounds bad.
It's bad. Turns out they're all bad. I had to actually look these ones up somewhat because I generally don't know what to do because I've never seen anyone take them. People do take them. It's a matter of once past round one, you don't have to see them if you're winning.
When this codex first came out, I did see someone win with Inner Circle.
Yeah,
I can't recall exactly what the list was, but it was based on the strength of the Inner Circle companions, that 3-man unit, which we'll see in the actual range review. But I think it was just a fluffy list that won like an RTT.
Yeah, there's some stuff there. Getting +1 the wound, hoops to jump through, but it can be strong.
Did Lionel Johnson forgive the Unforgiven, though? That part's really important.
Kind of.
Were those ones forgiven, or just the other ones?
Like, again, if you're looking at just fluffy, they're all there. You got your Raven Wing, which gives advantage, which is nice, but it's just a matter of you're probably just better doing the 7 Space Marine attachment if you want to play more competitively. Likely, currently, at this time of recording, still one of the best Marine factions. The Dark Angels Gladius is incredibly strong. It fixes the Gladius problem of Marines don't have the generic strategy, don't have great melee units. Dark Angel Terminators, their special unit that we'll get to, is one of the most durable units in the game for the points.
Yeah, and it hits
they
pretty
hit
hard.
Yeah. Yep, their chosen unit.
Inner Circle companions.
Also hits incredibly hard.
Yep.
Given those units, the mobility through Gladius really is the buff they want, and then it gives them some melee damage. Like they can do it all. They have, again, they're not locked out of any of the normal Space Marine stuff, so they still take all the stuff that's currently good: ballistics, scouts, vindicators. So it's the issue of kind of what you want to do with it, but you compare it to even Ultramarines, you get a lot because the units you get and some of the characters are insanely strong.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like what's his name, Ezreal?
Yep. The characters are give or take, but they're still strong. And then the pretty much all the units are decent. Like units, less so, but they're not awful.
But one of the things I like so much about this army in the current rules, and then with the most recent range refresh that they've recently had, a lot of the units that look incredible are also really good in the game. Like you talked about the
100%.
Terminators. Terminators are some of the best Terminators I've seen in 40k. It's cool that you can field a very competitive list with the models that you also want to be playing, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's nice when your credit card is what you play.
yeah, exactly. And boy, will it be expensive. In terms of paint schemes, included all the wings on here as well as the main paint scheme. This is great. So I can't
Yeah.
remember if I got this from Reddit or where I got this specifically, but whoever painted this did a very good job. The tan on the green, it's a darker green, so it's not like your salamanders, but it's highlighted up
Yeah.
really, really high. It just looks incredible. And then they combined that with these red gun casings. And Dark Angels in general are big fans of using plasma weapons. I'm not sure exactly where that comes from in their lore, but they typically like to use plasma weapons, so you see a lot of their artwork reflecting that,
100%.
including the Codex art. Ravenwing, just another unit of Black Marines, but hey, the coolest thing about Dark Angels to me is you can go really heavy into one of these individual wings if you like. You could go with the main scheme, and they all look pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely like the OG main scheme the best.
This one.
Get them Spartans in there.
yeah.
Master Chief armor. Dark green armor always looks cool.
I do really like the Deathwing, mostly because it's white but doable.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is so. Whoever painted this did an amazing job,
Yeah,
and I
it's a
bet
good
this.
paint scheme. I don't like washed out tan as much as the darker colors.
That's fair. Honestly, I don't have a problem with any of them. This one is the most
No.
generic to me. It's sort of like, okay, it's another Black Marine faction, but hey, if you can paint black well and you can get it to be, pretty good, it looks great on the table. So.
And I think there's a lot to be said about having to have a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think an army that can it all stands out if you got black, you got the tan, you got that. I think that looks really good.
Yeah, and it's like having three armies
Brings
from
up
a
the
hobby
monotony.
perspective. Exactly. The
Mhm.
monotony is exactly what I was driving at. Where, all right, I've painted 5,000 points of Green Marines. Like maybe I want to expand into the Death Watch or the Deathwing now and do like some of this tan work and stuff like that. Okay, I'm a little bit tired of painting and shading tan. Maybe I just want to go black and do an edge highlight of white. It's not just about the identity of each individual company and like the Ravenwing versus Deathwing versus the main Dark Angel scheme. It's also about just having three armies in one in terms of variety.
There's no reason why you can't paint your Land Raider the Deathwing scheme. It doesn't need to be the
Yeah.
main scheme.
And
Like,
these guys they're kind of the elite first company. A lot of first companies have different paint jobs. So you're expecting to see Blade Guard vets in here, Stern Guard vets, maybe Dreadnoughts or something like that, or definitely Terminators and, Deathwing Knights. But who's to say that they don't have a squad of tactical Marines within the Deathwing? Why wouldn't they have a squad of tactical Marines within the Deathwing? It's all fine and good. You can make anything work within the canon of either of these. If you want your entire army to be Deathwing, you could go that route.
yeah, who's stopping you? You
Right.
don't paint by rules is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
The game is better for it.
Yes, exactly. Overall, though, amazing scheme. Probably my favorite for the successor chapters.
Yeah, it's almost cheating. But it's like one of those things. Like, take your pick.
Yeah. Let's get into the amazing models. They
Oh
recently,
yeah.
like I said, they did a range refresh recently. Have you seen this model yet, Matt?
Yeah, I've seen 9-0 Johnson before. He's chef kiss.
Uh,
I think he
he
might
has
be
a
one of the single coolest models in the whole game.
man. That guy has a great face, but that helmet is amazing.
Oh my god, yeah. Like in this one, the helmet, the hood, and the face. Like god, the hood one is so cool looking.
All four of these are amazing.
Amazing.
They're all amazing. I wouldn't be able to choose. Do I choose the sulky guy where you can still see the beautifully sculpted face and that glorious mustache? Do I choose this one, which looks like maybe less of a Primarch, but has like much more spooky aspect? Go with the beautifully sculpted face, or do I go with this magnificent off helmet, the Primarch helmet, the glorious feather appeal?
So dynamic and flowing, the robes and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, insane.
Creates such a like imposing presence. It's so sweet. The little Jawas.
Yeah, the Gremlins. I'm not sure what the story is with them, but
Watchers, I believe they're called. They just kind of follow them.
They watch them change.
yeah, I think they've evolved over the millennia to be servants of the chapter. Maybe these are like normal human size compared to Lino
No, they're that small.
Johnson. Are they?
Compared to Lionel
Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah, Lionel Richie.
But yeah, let's say there's nothing that takes away from anything. this. It all works so well. The shield with the flow, it's not too much, but it's so beautiful. But this is one of those models that it's going to be hard to paint bad. It's going to look great. The base, amazing. Tactical Rock, eat my ass. This guy has one of the cooler bases I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. To your point of it wouldn't be that hard to get this to look very good. You know, you could spray it. You could do a primer or like a base coat of this really dark green color. You could dry brush on this light green on the exterior of it. Maybe do some touching up with the recess color, and then just it's paint by numbers after that, right? It's like paint in the gold. If you make any mistakes, touch it up with that underlying color, and then do a final shade, and you've got this model is gonna represent that basic color scheme extremely, extremely well. And if you have the skills to paint something at this level, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, I think heavy metal is probably a pretty rare level, but even a higher level than your average painter, you can really spend some time on this, pick out these details.
He's a centerpiece of centerpieces. I like Gilliman and fantastic model. It's Lionel Johnson, I think, is the best looking Primarch to date.
You know, it'd be interesting once we've done these range reviews to kind of go back and do a retrospective where we talk about best model in the game, and we try and like pinpoint what our best models in the game are. And to me, this guy he's right up there. He's
got to be up there.
Yeah, and when he was first released, I was like, well, I guess I'm interested in starting a Dark Angels army now. Like, because I had no interest, absolutely no interest in playing Dark Angels. And then I
don't think his rules
this guy
have ever mattered that much. It doesn't matter. If you have this guy well painted, he's not bad. It's just a matter of you're going to put him on the team.
He was really good when he came out, too, in 9th edition.
Yeah. He'll eventually pointed that I think no matter what his rules are, he'll just be good. They want people to take their primer. So rules change. No matter what, this guy will eventually be good or okay. Could be bad. It doesn't matter.
Get him on the table. Who cares? He's so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, just to point out, too, this is the shield and the sword he got from the Warp Realm. These didn't exist before they sculpted the character, I assume, and they were like, well, we need a lore reason that he has a giant shield and sword.
Doesn't he have the Emperor's shield? And Gilliman has the sword?
Yeah. So he has, I think this is the Emperor's shield, but that didn't exist in the lore before this model came out or whatever. So
Or the Lady of the Lake. Clad in shimmering samite.
Yeah, so I heard that from, I believe, the Poor Hammer podcast. So this is a game of telephone, so I could be totally wrong on that. If I am, correct me, get in the comments, correct me, and let me know. But it's super cool either way.
I think we just say that's true because it's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how it works.
He's like, I love you, son.
Yes.
You're my son, Mutt, and I love you.
And he like turns around, he's got like a giant sack behind him, and he's like, that's why I'm going to give you, and he like roots through his sack of relics, this shield, and he pulls it out. Yeah. Alright, let's keep moving.
New Azrael.
Hell yeah. Put the helmet on this guy.
Yeah. Put the helmet on.
Not a bad face, though, I'd like to point out.
But that's a fantastic helmet. The pose is pretty basic, but there's the beautiful robes. You have a kick-ass banner. You have a great sword.
This Huzzah pose, when we do the Black Templars range review, it's very similar to the Emperor's Champion pose. But it's a Huzzah pose. You want your Chapter Master, I don't know if he's the Chapter Master, but your Supreme Grand Master to be leading his troops forward with this majestic pose. And everything about this model is really cool.
Might be basic, but it's still cool. And I definitely think, like, Dark Angels and Templars, like, I like chain swords on normal Space Marines, but give these guys the Knight Swords.
Yeah, give them Power Swords. Power Swords are dope.
Power Swords or Thunder Hammers and stuff.
Yep.
And rules-wise, he's just always... You'll see him a lot. You don't need him, but he gives you extra CP, he gives your unit an Invul save. When you're talking about Dark Angels like in Plasma, he's one of the few units that really makes Hellblasters kind of stand out, gives them some durability, some support, put a character in there for lethal hits.
Can he lead Hellblasters?
Yes, sure he can. He also loves his Company of Heroes. I believe he can lead them now. For a while he couldn't. It's always question what can lead Company of Heroes. It changes every month. But just a flat CP. He's super affordable. He gives relevant buffs out his ass. He's awesome.
I like his big banner that says his name on it. If you didn't know, yeah, don't ever forget.
So I imagine that's blank.
I'm sure it is, yeah. Good luck painting this. If you got the skills.
My dad wrote it on my underwear, so I don't get lost.
Yes. Backside of this says, point me towards enemy. Yeah. This range review is going to be super. It's just going to be, until we get to the older models, it's just going to be us drooling over these, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
This range refresh was one of the best I think they've done in a long time. I'd really be interested to see the sales figures following this and like the number of Dark Angels players following this like range release, because it seemed to be very, very successful. Maybe the antithesis to the Blood Angels release, but
Spoilers, if the time the Battle Force Christmas boxes came out, the Dark Angel one was the one that sold out.
yeah, and that makes perfect sense to me. Everyone wants all of those Terminators, and
Everything, yeah. Oh,
was Belial in that box or was?
I don't even know. I have no money, so I don't look.
Yeah.
Is this guy new?
Oh yeah, Master Lazarus.
Here
He's
you go,
awesome.
dude.
He's super cool.
Does he come with hair on and hair off modes? What is going on there?
Yeah, this is pre-barber, post-barber.
Wait, why doesn't he have the dumb helmet on the far right?
In this one,
Yeah, look, no dumb pointy helmet.
this is like a relic helmet, I think.
Wearing it?
I guess not.
4 out of
That is
10.
kind of odd. I'm guessing that you can build this guy as just a captain.
Terminator. Yeah, probably
Maybe.
Captain Gravis armor or something. He's a bit
Yeah.
big.
I imagine you can build him with this helmet on, and then he's Master Lazarus, right? Or like something like that. I'm not entirely sure what makes Master Lazarus Master.
Kind of like him
Lazarus.
holding the helmet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you do get the dumb helmet in there, so he is a great face sculpt, actually.
Do you like giant Hulk hands though? What's a tough choice?
You don't have to make that choice, man. You could just have both.
My God. What if you put his helmet in his giant Hulk hand?
But, yep, I see him with the dumb helmet on. I take it back. He's a fantastic captain.
He's got the sensor here.
Definitely cool if you can do it. Hard to pull off.
What's
Inside
that?
a cape
Oh
can be
yeah,
tough.
yeah. I wouldn't even make an attempt at that, to be honest with you. That's a little much
But
for me.
so cool.
It's very, very cool. This might be doable. It would take a lot of time. This fade here, where they're like building that depth, I'm not capable of that. So
I like him holding the helmet. I think it's a cool,
That's acceptable. Not the helmet's in
really
there.
cool pose.
Asmodai, Master of Repentance. I think he's the chaplain or the chaplain master. So the first chaplain.
Is this even a question of left or right?
I love both of them. So it's a question.
I
left.
like the face on the guy on the right, but Jesus
It's
Christ.
left.
Smoke effect. He's
Both
got
of 'em.
cockle rings hanging off his codpiece.
Yeah, off his grimdark codpiece.
Edgy hood as he's listening to Linkin Park in the rain.
It's Simple Plan. He's clearly listening to What's New Scooby Doo.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, amazing model. My favorite details. I think this is an amazing face, Matt. You said you like the hood more, and you think this is an easy choice. I love this.
But you can also have that under a cool hood.
True.
Just rip that face off and put it on the guy on the left. I bet he has a different head potentially.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Gotta have the smoke effect.
You take that helmet, there's no comparison.
So I wish that Space Marines 2 had been Dark Angels, just because like I love Dark Angels, but that has only happened since this range review, since these models came out, right? But like seeing this guy in Space Marine 2 or being able to play as like something like this would be super cool.
That would be pretty legit.
And
I want them to make Warhammer 40k Harlequin. When do we get to play as the dumb space clowns?
It's like an hour.
0.001% of our listeners, Matt. Careful. A lot of people out there like space clowns. Just kidding. Aside from these freehand things on here, I don't think this would be incredibly hard to pull off. You know, there are things that I would really regret my life on. Trying to paint this tan underneath a lot of this detail. But what you could do is you could just paint the tan on first, paint the detail over top.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom. You got yourself a pretty good looking model. Even these, like we talk about ease of painting. You know, these are highly detailed minis. They're going to take time to paint. But if you take your time on them, you don't rush through it, you take your time to fix mistakes, you can really make them look amazing. And you can skip over some of the detail here, right? Like you don't have to paint these. You don't have to paint this thing here. You can just make that brown and just do a wash over top of this. There's a lot to be gained from these. It's intimidating when you look at beautiful models painted by the GW team and you get the model in front of you. The point I'm trying to make is you can get this to look really, really good just with a decent base coat on the stuff and a wash.
100%.
You always start simple and add detail.
exactly, Matt. As you become more confident, you can try and do some of these more intricate details on here, like this non-metallic metal on the sword, which been 10 years painting. Maybe you'll be confident enough. Maybe.
Yeah, really.
It's just a really good model, and I think it's pretty easy to make it look really good. So
I'm a sucker for base effects. Every game character should have something cool going on their bases.
Who is he killing? Is that an Iron Warrior?
who knows?
Horse Heresy. Helmet almost. Probably an Iron Warrior.
Probably. Let's talk about Belial.
I like the tan on this because it has the dark green and the maroon cape to contrast with it.
Yep.
I think that's the best way to make these Terminators work as well.
Yeah.
Will they have those capes you can put the green on?
I would love to get a Redemptor Dreadnought and sculpt a massive cape onto it.
Oh god.
I don't think I'd be like capable of that from an artistic point of view, but
You're thinking too small. Get a Titan.
yeah, I'll get a yeah, I'll get like a War Dog Titan.
Make an entire Knights army. All of them have ponchos.
Yeah, giant lancers would be perfect for this. Would be perfect for a Dark Angels army.
Yeah.
I like Belial. The one thing I don't like about Belial, I would put, if he comes with a helmeted head, I would just go with the helmeted head.
I don't think he has it. I think it's cape. I do think the cape doesn't look good there, but looking at a different image, it does. It looks pretty sick.
You're talking about
you're just seeing the side. The hooded, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a fine sculpted face. It just looks like it's a little bit tight inside this hood here. Minor complaint. I still love the model.
This is the Terminator here I like.
I have a pretty low opinion of the Terminator captain we've seen. Not bad, but this is probably the coolest. I mean, the flames help.
Burning the heretic on the base.
Yep. Good looking sword. That's the big thing. All these guys have great sculpted swords.
Yep.
The capes, amazing capes. I think I prefer a helmet. He has a great holding gun pose. Terminators can kind of really suffer when they're holding that Stormbolter.
It's tough. It's tough to do Terminators in movement poses because it's like Terminator armor is insanely cool, but I think it's a flaw of Terminator armor that it presents a cool silhouette, but it doesn't portray movement very well. It's difficult to make
so
Terminator
thick and broad.
Exactly. Like even through him like turning his upper torso a little bit, it looks a little bit like, I don't know, maybe that he wouldn't be able to do that, but yeah, and the cape helps and the robe helps. All this different stuff was a very good decision. So.
But he's still above anything in the regular Space Marine line. Characters are all beautiful.
Yep.
Can he lift his arm enough to put the sword in the sheath?
No, impossible. Can't be done.
Kind of wiggle it sideways. Like
yeah. He's got to do like a half shimmy. He has to go find a wall somewhere to like press the scabbard against.
This guy needs a team of Jawas.
Yeah, just to sheath his sword.
Servants, attend me. Put my sword away. No, wait. Take it back out. There's a guy coming.
quickly, Jawas.
Oh, no, he's on fire.
This is one of the Jawas.
Oh, can't look down, Jawas. Are you still down there?
Yeah, I guess I'm not putting my sword away for the rest of this campaign. Damn shame. Very cool. Semi-L. Oh. I'm assuming in the future they're going to get a range refresh. The Raven Wing.
I mean, it's for face.
Awesome.
It's so cool though. Like this, a little bit chunky. What a great model.
I want to see them redo it.
That's the thing I'd say for it. They're gonna kill it, man. When this thing came out, it had to be the coolest model that ever existed.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I would buy if I was buying into Dark Angels, which may very well happen in my future. I would probably avoid this guy. I assume he is going to get a refresh at some point. He might just go away.
There's no way he goes away.
He might be resin. If he's resin, tell us in the comments if he's resin. But if he's resin,
not Forge World, is he?
I don't think he's Forge World. He might be.
No,
he might be plastic. He is on a flight base.
He might be fine cast, yeah, but no, he's insane.
If he is fine cast, right? Does that just immediately change your opinion?
No, that was just the way of the things. Like to get this model back in, I don't know when they made him, the 2000s probably.
Yeah.
Whew.
You needed to have some really sharp resolution.
Well, that's the thing. There's nothing compared to the old Marine line. There's nothing as cool as this guy. Shame he's been aged out, but God, can't wait to see the new model when it eventually comes in 2 years.
He is super cool. I think he's aged really well too. I just think primarification of the line has really left him behind more than anything.
Yeah, we see what they can do. Wow, sorry.
Yeah,
you're not
relative to the new Dark Angels. He's shown his age, but
Bad role
Not that
model
much.
for children. He's, reading and driving.
Without a
Don't
helmet
be distracted. Yeah.
while holding a sword.
No, that part's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Bad role model for children. Good model.
I think he's awesome. Lance would be sweet. Get him like a shining spear lance.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Air bikes or jet bikes should be jousting.
So they'll probably redo the Ravenwing part of this range, and they'll probably give them their own speeder, their own bikes, like Black Knights on bikes, their own semi-L, etc. I hope when they do that, they give the Black Knights lances, and they make
Yeah, like
their...
Rough Riders have Melta lances. Give these guys something.
Yeah, absolutely. A Melta Lance would be freaking
Well,
dope.
no, they have their own melee weapon. They have Corvus hammers, I believe. If they could just make those look cool. Let's give them cool ass hammers. Hammers are cool.
That would be dope too. But also give them lances.
That's gonna be White Scar's thing, I think. I hope.
The lances, yeah. You want to see them with lances because of the whole Black
The Knight
Knights, like
thing,
the
but yeah.
knight aesthetic, but
And they've always been more of a shooting unit, kind of been a do it all.
right. Give them plasma guns maybe on the front.
Oh, yeah, that's what they have, plasma guns. We'll see when we get to them. They have a model.
They do. Yep. Problem, Matt? You seem to be laughing.
He's just so cool. I mean,
He's just so hilariously cool.
Guys,
Dude,
me.
I love Papa Smurf.
I've never seen a Marine look so small.
He is
He's
showing
got
his
the little
age.
white hat and everything.
Yeah, he is Papa Smurf. He does have the cool Aragorn pose going on, the for Frodo
Man,
pose.
of all the guys that get left behind.
I think they should just get. I think they should just get rid of him. If you like Ezekiel so much, grab yourself a banner for the backpack. Grab yourself a librarian power sword. Build your own. You could probably easily do it, Dark Angels players.
He looks small now. Like I can't imagine him next to real models.
This is the kind of model, though, they could really just refresh in a commemorative series release. Oh, Ezekiel Grandmaster Librarians commemorative series. You know what I mean by that? He's not bad. As old breeds go, he looks fine. Definitely showing his age. A guy who is an old Marine, but not showing his age.
Yes, yeah, this guy, old but still looks awesome. Great hose on the Hulk hand.
A smoke effect going from his pipe. He's vaping in there.
420, he's hotboxing it.
You can really see where they took inspiration for Asmodai from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new one, right? And I'm assuming if you want to run a Dark Angels chaplain, you could just run Asmodai as a chaplain. I don't know how kosher that would be with the rules or whatever.
Just a good proxy, but he definitely holds up.
You can still buy this guy. Probably significantly shorter is the only thing.
Let's make the smokestack bigger and make him premier size.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get a new one. Interrogators are kind of cool.
Oh yeah, this guy's gonna be sick when they make a new one.
And I don't know if they're going to make a new one or not. They made a Sanguinary Priest. They made a Blood Angels Captain. Unique models. The least they could do is give us a Dark Angels Interrogator Chaplain, a new one that's not Asmodai.
Yeah.
Cool Combat Patrol. An Interrogator Chaplain, Inner Circle
Even more-
Companions,
More Terminators.
10 Hellblasters, and then Dread or something.
It's the most expensive combat patrol I've ever heard of. Do it, BW cowards.
These are amazing. They're one of the most flavorful Dark Angels just units. Check so many boxes for me. Big F-off swords. They look like Judiciaries if Judiciaries were a unit, and also were Dark Angels flavored.
You guys a Sisters fan? These guys are the perfect hybrid. These guys are awesome.
I love the purple on them. They're really gonna stand out in the rest of the army.
Mm-hmm.
They're more of a red or a purple.
Like a burgundy.
Azrael can also lead these guys. They get might with hit they're being led.
I love the freehand on the shoulder pad. Top left one, that's so cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing about these is I understand it from looking into buying into Dark Angels. Every single one of these can be built in... This guy can be built in 2 different ways, this guy can be built in 2 different ways, this guy can be built in 2 different ways. So if you buy 2 of these, you can have like a relatively unique looking group of 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that would really turn me off from these models, is if these were all like monopose. You're running 3 of them, 9 total. They all look like this. It might look a little stupid, but like I said, you can build them in different ways, different enough ways that it's like not entirely monopose, which I think really helps. I'm not sure if that's true. If you've built these, get in the comments. If that's the case, then that's really cool.
And
Yeah,
they deploy a smoke screen from their little vape there.
That's the minus one to be hit.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. These are currently my most wanted. I love these so much. Whenever I talk about falling in love with the Dark Angels as a faction, and Love might be a strong word, but whenever I talk about wanting to get into them as a faction, I think of Lionel Johnson and I think of the Deathwing Knights. I love Terminators, first of all, but Terminators with big shields,
Big ass shields.
it's extra cool. I don't know what they'll do once Space Marines refreshes the Assault Terminators, if they're going to make them these big, bulky, full body covering F-off shields, or what if that's going to be the case, or if they're going to go with the more traditional cross-shaped kind of small derpy shields. But I hope they're these, because to me, these are super, super cool. A phalanx of these advancing up the battlefield, to me, represents... This is one of the tankiest infantry units in the game, if not the tankiest. It
Yeah.
looks like that's the case, right?
I won't say one of the best units in the game anymore, but definitely one of the best Space Marines, especially in melee. Being able to survive in combat means you don't have to hit the hardest if you're going to get the hit all game.
Mm-hmm. They're so cool.
Ignore the rules. Build them with the swords.
Build them both.
Can they not get big hammers?
They can have these.
That's a shame. Thunder hammers are cool though.
Thunderhammers would be awesome on these guys. I think that would be really, really cool. Maybe when they come out with Assault Terminators, Thunderhammers are almost certainly going to be an option. In the meantime, oh no, I'll have to just build them with incredibly cool swords instead. Sorry. Which would you like more, Matt? The sword for the knight?
Oh, the sword, I think. I would like a hammer more than that mace.
Let me bring your attention to these helmets.
Awesome.
Amazing, right? It makes me so excited for when they're going to do the Ranger Fresh for Grey Knights. Paladins, like if they can do Paladins, one iota as cool as these guys, I think you're going to see like you saw for Dark Angels, I think you're going to see a massive uptick in Grey Knights players. Unlike Blood Angels and Dark Angels, you don't have to get into the Space Marine range to be into Grey Knights. It's its own army. I guess that might be something that our dear listeners would take some advice from. If you like the aesthetic of the Knights, maybe hold off until Grey Knights get their range refresh, because that's one of the big downsides of Dark Angels to me, is that they have this massive range because of the whole Space Marine thing. If you build a bunch of Space Marines, don't have like Dark Angels upgrade sprues, they might not fit in with like these guys, for example.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think that's a big problem. I think Blade Guard Ancients or Blade Guard Vets fit in right next to these guys. I don't think they're going to be out of place, but
Pretty simple, but there's so much. It just takes the classic Terminator armor and just does it best in class. I love them.
Terminators, like we talked about before, it's tough to get them to be in dynamic poses.
Yeah.
Advancing ominously or standing ominously, like those are your options, right? I kind of wish they had capes. They do have crotch capes, which is cool, but I built my Chaos Terminator with back cape from Slaves to Darkness, from whatever their battle line unit's called. I can't remember, I'm blanking on it right now, but build that with a back cape, fur around the shoulders, and then the big cape spanning out back, and it really adds to the silhouette.
I think they could have gave them capes, and it would have been $1.
But at the same time, Belial has a cape.
So
Super dope. Alright, let's keep moving.
I thought these guys were the coolest thing in the world in 7th edition.
The models, you mean? Or
Oh yeah, they were like his bikes were the coolest thing.
wait till they get a refresh. If these get refreshed and made new, they'll probably be one of the coolest units in the game.
I think these guys are so goofy they turn back into being cool.
I don't hate them by any means. It's just a matter of like
stupid.
They go right through the goof barrier and right back into cool, huh?
How do we make our Raven wing bikes look different from a normal bike? Ravens are birds, so put like wings on them. Many
black.
wings. Just every square inch of this. Just make the whole bike a giant wing with wheels. And then put wings on those wings. Put wings on the guy's head too. And then paint some wings on them. And then I guess a sword should stick out somewhere. Perfect. Put a wing on the cape too. Put a wing on the banner. Put a wing on the flag.
What about his shin pads? Put a wing on it.
Just beautiful.
I think they look really stupid.
Yep, that's the point.
Yeah, I'm not sold. Like I said, I'm excited for them to get a refresh. I think they'll do really well with the Raven Wing detachment.
Yeah, if you make the bike bigger, you could put more wings on it to refresh. I agree. There should be one doing a wheelie, and there should be one doing a reverse, like where the front wheel's doing on the ground, doing a backwards wheelie.
So, bear with me here. What if they had like Outrider bikes, but instead of wings upright like this, they're like slightly at like a 45-degree angle coming back from here, sweeping around the bike, and then interspersed on the wings are plasma rifles. And then the handlebars kind of ride up along the back of the wings, and then the knights are here. And they
Yes,
have
that. Get rid of the word instead.
Biblically accurate Raven Wing Black Knights. Make 20 revolving rings full of wings and then put tires on it.
No. See, this is just stupidity.
No, no, no.
I want a hammerhead silhouette for these bikes. I want them to be slightly bigger than Outriders, and I want them to have a hammerhead silhouette where the wings at the front are like the hammerhead's head.
I wouldn't mind them being sleeker than like Outriders.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route. I just think that like if I'm trying to picture what these would look like without the derpiness of the entire thing that's going on here, to Matt's point, less wings probably would help. It's a considerable amount. It sounds like you want more wings, but I don't think you really want more wings. Maybe like more of a imposing front to this vehicle, and then this guy could be farther back, and then this whole whatever you want to call this like shrine thing here. I don't know where you would put that or what you would do with that.
I love them, but I can't wait to be in them.
What about wings on the flagpole?
It's a wing and a sword. It's beautiful.
Waiting the sword. It's beautiful.
So this is
They're
the
just
regular bike squad. I guess you can probably build both.
no. They're separate kits.
Well, that's stupid, and that sucks. They're probably going to keep this design element across. They're going to have this banner pole off the back, which is kind of cool. Like I kind of like that. I did a similar thing for my White Scars, but again, it might be cooler if it was at the front. Well, they might just sell like an upgrade sprue and say, put this thing on your Outriders, idiot.
I mean, you could already do that, and that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. But they might just officially do that, right? If they redo the Black Knights, like it's a cool unit.
There's no way they don't. The bikes are insane.
Smash.
Look at that party bus.
This is the only model in the game I've ever seen in person and been like, that looks even worse in person.
It's so small.
It's really, really stupid looking too. Like, there's no way this thing flies, and I hate every part of it. I imagine if you
Like the giant stupid gun.
yeah, on the sides. This is the turret. This is from this turret pintle here.
Yeah.
Which, for whatever reason, they decided let's put it off to the side.
Slightly off to the side, the stupid sidecar that can't aim down.
Yeah, absolutely the worst decision ever.
What's that guy in the back aiming at?
This guy?
Yeah, do you have a gun?
Who knows?
Can't even tell there's a guy there.
There is theoretically a guy here. He's just turning this pintle of holy energy in different directions.
Yeah, turning the giant. They should make a giant plasma cannon come out of the sword so that you turn the shrine and then it shoots laser beams at people.
Listen, how I would fix this, I would keep this motif on the wings, make it slightly lower profile. I would take this and make it into a masthead. I would get rid of this bullshit here. Just put this guy in the passenger seat.
Add 4 sidecars, each with
No, okay, I'm not talking. This isn't a joke, Marcus. This is how I would actually fix this. I would remove this whole entire thing and make it like into like a shrine area with incense burners and trailing off in the back. And then I would take this and I would make it basically a masthead, and I'd put this lady emerging, or whatever the hell it is, emerging from the front with a sword moving forward, and then angel wings sweeping back like this.
And then put the guns under it. Make it an actual gunship.
Yeah, and then, yeah, exactly. And then basically just increase the profile of this. Like, make actual wings. Like, this is the problem with a lot of old Space Marine shit. Like, this doesn't look like it would ever work.
No. Give it a cool base. Like, that's the big thing with these things. Give them cool, like, their flight bases. I think flight bases are so much of the time. Like, there's no reason this thing can't have a cool ass base.
Well, I think for these vehicles in particular, that's asking a lot, because those flight bases are like...
Make the base be, like I said, base pop up, do some cool stuff, so you don't have to give these goddamn flight bases.
I think specifically, my point is specifically for these, like for jump pack infantry, I think they're trending that way, right? But this is like in the same vein as aircraft. Like, it's the same height on the table. These are really high. And so, like, you'd have to have like some sort of massive ruin piece jutting up to hold it.
That's what I want.
And maybe that's what everyone wants. I don't know. Get in the comments. This is super derpy. This is even derpier. You're stupid poison.
At least that guy has a gun.
Yeah, I mean this one's cooler because it makes like slightly more sense. I really hate these models, and you know, I'm sure there are people out there who would defend these to the death. Get in the comments.
I do think that front guy in the turret does kind of ruin it. And this one, like, now that it's like almost cool. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a castle flying through the air, and it's like this is like a turret. Doesn't really do it for me. If you were 7 and you saw this model, you'd probably think it was the coolest thing on the planet. And I want you to understand out there, all you Dark Angels players out there, this is why you like this model, because you saw it when you were 7. And you were like, this is the coolest thing ever. You painted it up, didn't look terrible. You've had it ever since. You still defend it to this day. I'm telling you, when everyone else looks at it, they think it looks terrible. Even if this is really well painted. The painter did everything they could with this model.
It is vengeance. It is the night.
Models that I don't hate, though.
Smash. More airplanes.
Again, 40k has amazing planes. This is the first of the good Space Marine planes.
It's an amazing plane. I mean, it's still no Valkyrie, but this is amazing.
I think it is a little small.
But the fighters, like, they're supposed to be small. It looks great, but it's
Cool silhouette. Twin engine. Them sweet missiles. You gotta paint the missile tips.
Paint your missile tips, folks.
give them the tip, guys. Come on.
Just to require every army to have planes and then make an airspace and then make all the planes shoot each other, and it has no effect on the actual game, but you have cool sweet dogfights and you make plane noises.
Yeah, like you and your friend are playing the game, but then like people are off to the side going, "Choo,
Meow.
Eagle Red 4, this is your squadron leader." Bail out, Eagle Red, bail out!
I could use lose you a little help here, guys. Perkins, get out of there.
Perkins, you're too low. I got it.
Yeah, that's how I'd fix Warhammer.
How can we ruin this?
Slap a damn church on it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't hate this as much as
Oh,
as this
no, yeah.
nonsense.
And then you give it the big ass A10 cannon,
The Brapinator
the Ultra
and
Brapinator.
the side Brapinators.
They needed more church.
This thing is buying some goddamn t-shirts.
I like this for the most part. Like, it still has the same silhouette. It just doesn't look a different model, I think is the problem. If this...
It's not enough.
But like the tail, the Dark Angel on the tail is so cool.
You should just put that piece on. I don't know.
This should just be terrain, like for your Dark Angels themed board. If they took this entire, it's part of the Ecclesiarchy, out of the range, and just said, if you want to play this kind of game, play Sisters, I'd be perfectly okay with that
and that's
too.
fair.
The Sisters have a giant stained glass tank. They redo these with some of that religious iconography. You know, I wouldn't be upset or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like you could just do away with it and I would feel basically the same.
Give
Yeah.
Sisters church planes.
I mean, honestly, wouldn't that be dope?
More planes.
Wouldn't it be sick if they got their own version of the Nephilim?
100% yes. Sisters should just have the Notre Dame Cathedral with wings.
So I just wanted to show a couple examples here of like the different paint schemes.
Yep, that red pops on that Brutalis super hard.
I think Deathwing like Dreadnoughts have a lot of potential.
The green looks good too. I think there's no bad way to do it.
Good old Garfy.
Yeah, Garfy on Tale of Painters. Hey, I just copied the name of the article. Garfy, if you're out there, mad respect. These are cool. Mad respect on you, Garfy. Closing thoughts. What do we think of the Dark Angels range overall? Pretty good?
They're awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love Dark Angels.
all the new models are awesome. They are an elite army. So like, you talk about what makes 40k affordable when you can spend $50 on an eighth of your army.
You're on your way,
$50,
yeah. And not only that, but in 9th edition, that was a competitive army. In 10th edition, that's probably a fine army. Grab yourself a Lion, grab yourself a couple Dreadnoughts, maybe some Scouts, and a unit of Hellblasters. Throw it all in a pot, and you got yourselves a pretty good army. Assault Intercessors. Alright guys, well thanks for tuning in to Armies on Parade, our next installment. What do you think, Blood Angels? Black Templars?
Stick with the Angels.
Blood Angels, probably next. But thanks for listening. Remember to like and subscribe, all that other YouTube bullshit, and we'll see you next time.